Hey, what's up guys, John here. In August of 2020, you need to earn $74,657 to purchase a property in America. That's not bad. It's not bad. $74,000 to be a homeowner. Now you have to earn $114,627 to purchase that same property.
A new report is showing that with home prices hitting another high, home equity is also approaching record levels again.
Home prices have been rising again for several months and just hit record highs in 60% of U.S. markets.
The average mortgage rate in this country on a 30-year fixed loan hit a stunning 8%. It's the highest that it's been since 2000.
This surge is causing many Americans to wonder, are we barreling toward a housing market crash?
Now, many people are looking at homeowners and saying, hey, you lucked out. You got a 2% mortgage, 3% mortgage. This is an incredible thing. But I'm going to take the opposite position. I actually believe home buyers that are going to be entering this market are going to have all the power, and home sellers are walking into a very, very, very big problem. Homeowners are walking into a big problem that they're not anticipating. So if you are thinking of selling a property the next 2 to 3 to 4 years, 5 years, pay attention to this. If you're a home buyer or you're a renter thinking about investing in real estate, you're going to walk into an massive opportunity in the housing market. I'm going to break down exactly how this is likely going to unfold and what you can do to position yourself to prepare for what I think is going to be the greatest wealth transfer in real estate history in this country. Please hit the like button. When you hit the like button, YouTube will share this content to educate the people about what's really going on. And if you'd like to fix your credit, we'd love to help you at my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, any negative item on your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com by clicking the link in the description below this video. Take a look at this. So $115,000 a year is what you need to afford a home. Remember when, just a couple of years ago, if you went to college, you earned $100,000 a year, you were a staple of success, probably in your family. Everyone would say, wow, you're doing extremely well. Do $100,000 a year. Now, $115,000, they say, buys the average home in America. But the more that you look at this, the more you realize it's probably closer to $175,000 is what you actually need to make to be able to comfortably afford to buy a home in America. So when you look at this, it's shocking. So if you have $175,000 a year with 20 grand down, 8% mortgage rate, you can comfortably afford, $410,000, $420,000 home. The median home in America is $416,000. So when you put this number in, $115,000, like what they are suggesting, you can comfortably afford a home really around $250, $275, $280, somewhere in that range. When you're going to $416, that's at the top end of one's budget. No vacations, no gifts. You're going to be very, very cautious with how you spend money because most of it that you earn is going to go into your home. So when you're looking at this and then you're looking at what home buyers went through in 2020 and 2021, borrowing really, really cheap money, they locked in these great rates, which is incredible. For those that have these great rates that, they intend to stay for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, you're good, right? That's a good thing. But for those that maybe are getting relocated from their job, maybe they lose their job, maybe they are walking into a crisis, student loans are stepping in. All of these they're getting hit left, right, and center. Insurance, student loans, inflation costs, taxes, everything is happening at the same exact time. For those that can't afford their property or they maybe bought too big of a home, those people are going to be walking into a big problem. And when you look at 40% of all mortgages in America right now, we're taking at the height of the market between 2020 and 2021, 40% of all these mortgages. Back then, student loans, people weren't really paying them. Only 500,000 Americans were paying their student loans out of 43.5 million as of September 31st. So come October 1, you had millions and millions and millions of Americans that are likely not going to be able to pay these bills. So what's going to happen? It's going to go on their credit reports. People are going to have a harder time accessing liquidity because their credit scores are going to go down. They're going to have a harder time accessing funding because they've lost their jobs. They're going to have a harder time making ends meet. So what do people do when they walk into hard times? Well, they cost cut. They look to ways in which they can save money. And so how are they going to save money? Look at where mortgage rates are. If you have bad credit, just for context, just to paint this picture clearly, if you have bad credit, 620 to 639, it's 9.27%. If you have the average credit score in America, 698, it's 8.6%. If you have perfect credit, 800, 8.13%. So what do people do when they look to save money, right? If they can't access cheap debt, what are they going to do? They're going to start to downsize. They're going to start to downsize their living standards. And so they're going to be doing that through this, renting. They're going to be giving the keys back. Many people are going to give the keys back. Many people say, John, that's never going to happen. If you're making $5,000 and your house is costing you $3, and food is costing you $1,000, $1,200, and you have a car payment and car insurance and all these different other expenses, you're going to look for the biggest expense, and you're going to look how you can reduce that. And when you're looking at what it costs right now to rent, $1,850 is the average cost to rent a single family home in America. $1,850. That is about 50% the cost of owning a home. 50%. So when people say they're not going to start listing their homes, what they're not realizing is that might be you. You might not list your home. But millions of Americans will be forced to list their home. And when you have 650,000 houses actively listed in America for sale, it doesn't take 1 million homes to completely flip this housing market. It takes 100,000. 50,000, 75,000 houses. That's all it takes. And before you know it, there's a lot more inventory on the market and chasing very small pool of buyers that wants to go out there and go from renting at $1,850 to $2,000 to going to buy a home for $4,000 or $5,000. This is what's happening. You have $3,759 a month to purchase a $419,000 house. $3,900, $3,800. So when you're looking at this, you have to ask yourself, well, if you're a home buyer, you're probably paying attention to a couple things, one of which will be mortgage rates. Are mortgage rates going to go up or down? Many people will think if mortgage rates go up, that's a bad thing for home buyers. I would take the complete opposite approach. I think it's an incredible thing for home buyers. And the reason for it is because it prices out your competition. There's less buyers that want to enter the market. There's going to be more home sellers chasing that smaller pool of buyers. So if you lock in at the great price, because at the end of the day, money's made in real estate on the buy. You lock in at a great price. If rates come down in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, then you could refinance then. If they don't, you still got a great price on a house. And that's what's important, right? When you're looking at what Jerome Powell's saying, he's saying further interest rate hikes 2 days ago. But then on the same exact day, they say that he's saying that rate hikes will not go up again. So you can't trust what they say. You have to look at what they do. What they're doing is they're increasing interest rates at the fastest clip in this is like compared to Volcker, right? We're hiking rates in Volcker, right? This is red. That's how dramatic and how fast they are increasing interest rates. And so when you're looking at these trends, you have to ask yourself, how is the housing market not going to walk into an absolute disaster? When they're building, we're at a 50-year high with apartment construction right now. 50-year high. Rents are going to continue to fall. So you think about this. We're going to walk into a situation where you're going to see this affordability crisis break the backs of most homeowners. That's what's going to happen because most homeowners have student loans. Most homeowners are already stretched to capacity. And so when you're looking at these things, these trends that are happening, and right here they're saying climate and inflation are driving up insurance costs, this is going to mean insurance is going to continue to get more and more expensive every single year. So what do I think is going to happen? 2024, I think we're walking into the greatest real estate transfer of wealth that we've ever seen before. And it's already happening. I mean, right now they're saying average American salary is no longer enough to afford a home. In fact, it's not even close. September was the worst month for home sales in over a decade. As rising mortgage rates and elevated prices kept buyers at bay. And you look at this, why the housing market is going to be from tough to terrible. Look at the home inventory. Home inventory in 2019, 2020, there was no inventory anywhere. If you wanted to buy a house, you're competing with 20 other home buyers, 18 of which were all cash, waiving all their inspections and appraisal contingencies. They just wanted to buy the house. But now you're starting to see inventory start to increase. Why is that? It's because home sellers they're realizing the show is over. The show is over, and they want to be able to cash out and get some money out of their property while they still can. That's why. They're not just listing their homes because they're like, hey, now it's probably a good time to sell. They're looking at what's happening with Russia and Ukraine and Israel and Hamas. They're looking at all the chaos unfolding around the world, and they're realizing we're not going back to normal. The new normal is going to be a tough place. The new normal is not going to be 2018, 2019. That is over. Right? The new normal is getting prepared for the worst case scenario and positioning yourself for it. And when you see these homeowners looking around, they're looking at trouble, left, right, and center. And home buyers are not dumb. Home buyers are looking around also realizing, hey, if you got a job making $100,000, $150,000 a year, you're sitting on $50K, $100K, you have great credit, you're putting yourself in a really strong position, you're looking around realizing, hey, I'm standing out here by myself because there's not many people in the same exact position, right? Look at this. Home foreclosures increasing, underscoring ongoing challenges faced by Americans. So you tell me, how is the housing market not going to crash? That's the big question. How is the housing market not going to crash? If rents everywhere are already on the decline, and borrowing costs are going through the roof. The cost to be a homeowner is going through the roof, and we're watching a complete restructuring of the U.S. economy before our very eyes. Think about this. In 2020, in 2021, remember they said the big corporations were safe. The big corporations, Walmart, Amazon, Target, you can go there, stand in line with 50 people, 100 people, everything's good, right? But you don't go to a small business. So what ultimately happened? Consumer habits changed. How people spend money changed. Where they get information changed. Everything changed, which is taking a lot of authority away from small businesses. And small businesses employ most of America. Small businesses own most of the single-family homes, duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes, most of the houses. And so when you're looking at this, these small business owners are getting hit left, right, and center. And at the same exact time, the entire economy is going through a massive overhaul. So you ask me, home foreclosure, is that just coincidental? Or are we walking into, the great wealth transfer? I think we're walking into the great wealth transfer. And I think we're going to walk into a situation where you're going to be able to make an absolute fortune. For example, I was looking at a property yesterday online in Miami. I was wondering, should I get an office there, or should I maybe buy a triplex or a fourplex and I could use the units as an office? A fourplex in Miami, $1.5 million, not in a great area, $1.5 million. The mortgage payment on this fourplex, it wasn't nice, by the way. It was not nice. It needed some work. $11,500. $11,500. How many people are going to go out there and buy these properties? A duplex for $1.1 million. Nobody. Nobody is going to buy. So what's ultimately going to happen? More and more and more sellers are going to start seeking those buyers when this economy gets worse and worse and worse. And it's going to be a race to the bottom. Huge opportunities coming for home buyers. Massive opportunities coming for home buyers. If you're looking to invest in real estate, position yourself, know your market, know exactly what your game plan is going to be. Make sure you have great credit. Make sure you have cash in the bank. Make sure you have stable income. You can even talk to a mortgage lender right now. You can say, hey, look, this is my game plan. I want to go out there. I want to buy a fourplex. I want to buy a property for $400,000. This is my income. This is where my credit score is at. This is how much money I have in the bank. They will tell you where you need to be. And all you do is just build out a 6-month game plan and reverse engineer that game plan. They'll tell you for free. Just go online, find a mortgage lender in your area, get that free information, put it on your goal board, and reverse engineer your way to success in real estate, because there's going to be a lot of opportunity. What do you think about the entire situation? Drop below, hit the like button, add me on IG, and if you want to fix your credit, we'd love to help you at my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, any issue in your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com by clicking the link in the description below this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.